Welcome to the Legal Advice in Paradise podcast, brought to you by www.legaladviceinparadise.com. Even in one of the most beautiful places in the world, life can be litigious. On this podcast, the best and brightest legal minds gather to help you navigate your way through every legal question you may face. This program will help you know your rights, know what steps to take, and help you find the best legal representation, all in simple, easy to understand terms. And now, here's your host, Justine Gronwald.
Aloha, and thank you for tuning in to our next podcast episode. Want to make sure you never miss an episode, as well as get tips on how to hire an attorney and be eligible for monthly prizes? It's easy. Just join our free membership called the Agent of Change membership. Text your name and your email to area code 808-670-3400. Make sure you text back agree. And also, to check out our past episodes, just log into www.legaladviceinparadisepodcast.com. Now enjoy the next episode. Aloha.
My vision really is about what we talked about a little earlier in regards to trust.
Trust.
Right now, a lot of people don't trust.
Yeah.
Don't trust their elected should be public servants, not public officials.
Yeah.
They don't trust them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that? And that's because really, especially this past year, I think I heard a lot of it from people out there who saying, we're not getting any respect, as you mentioned, for the people, by the people, right?
Right.
They're not getting any respect from their elected public servants.
Mm-hmm.
They're either not listening to them, they're either doing things that are not transparent. In other words, what's going on? Well, we didn't know that was going on, right? Or they're just waiting to the last minute and then something pops up and they say, okay, this is the way it's going to be. Or there's a flip-flop. They said this earlier and now they're doing this. So they feel like they're not getting any respect at all. So there's no trust.
Right.
And when you got no trust for your elected public servants, and they're giving you no respect, what does that mean? You got imbalance.
Right.
There's no balance in government.
Right.
So as such, you get lousy legislation, you get bad policy, and you just get junk government. Let's just put it that way. You get junk government.
Yeah, make it plain. Junk.
Yeah, you just get junk government. So, part of my vision is to bring this back.
The balance.
To bring back balance, trust, and respect, right? I mean, and let the people know that, hey, your voice will be heard. Doesn't mean we're going to agree, but your voice will be heard. I respect what you have to say. Why? Because I'm serving you. Even if you didn't vote for me, I'm serving you, right? I'm serving everybody. We all have differences. But if there's anything I've learned along the way, as you noted, as an attorney, as a judge, mainly as a judge, I've learned how to have the kind of objectivity and independence and fairness that needs to be given to everyone, not just because you gave me money or you voted for me.
I see how that ties in.
Yeah.
Your base, where you came from, you're in there working with the people. I mean, the people are the ones that vote, and
well, it's the empowerment part is just that.
Yeah.
People today, the voters today, the public today, don't feel like they're empowered.
Do you think they know? I mean,
well, I think I can say that with some authority by just looking at the percentage of people who vote.
it's pretty bad.
Yeah. and why is that? Well, there's one of the reasons is because of what you just said, empowered. Do they feel like they're empowered? No, they don't.
They don't feel it makes a difference.
Exactly, because of what I said in regards to getting respect. They're not listening to me.
So why should I?
Why should I vote? Exactly.
Right.
So why should I vote? I don't feel like I'm empowered. They all do the same thing. They say one thing.
Yeah, exactly. Tell me the statistics for Hawaii's voting record.
Okay, so last election, 2012, I believe we had a little less, or maybe just slightly over 60% of the voters, okay, which was kind of high, but that still was lowest in the country.
Oh, lowest in the country.
Yeah, in 2010, I believe it was below 50%, or just above 50%.
Yeah. Can you give me demographics of which age didn't vote the most? Is it the younger ones?
It's the younger ones, yeah.
They're pretty. They call it Gen X, or maybe there's another name for the even younger ones, but they're kind of like whatever, right?
Part of it too is empowering them, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But also, it starts with the families. In other words, letting them, giving them priorities. And a priority for you, young man or young woman, is that you engage in civic responsibility. Jury service.
You know what? I don't think
jury service. How about jury service? How about stuff like that? How about just voting?
I don't think
right
these conversations happen at home.
They don't?
I mean, it never did in our home.
And it should, right?
And
it should.
it's not taught in schools that, okay, let's get the family involved and have them understand how important it is. And
So I ask you, what did we just celebrate? What holiday did we just celebrate? Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And what's one of the things that, you keep hearing every Memorial Day? That these men and women gave their lives. So that we could what? We could have the freedoms that we have.
We could have the freedom.
And what's one of the rights that we have today?
Voting.
Exactly.
So these people shouldn't die in vain.
Exactly.
We should exercise our rights.
Exactly.
Wow.
I'm trying to start a mentoring program
Is
for
this the
Ho'omauike.
Ho'omauike?
So trying to bring together young men and women who between the ages of 20 and 25, and share with them my experiences, and hopefully that will inspire them. But more importantly, it will engage them. Will engage them in the process. And the process is not just on the political side, but just in life in general. Getting involved in whether it's community service.
On the forefront of my mind is the family having a discussion about people exercising their freedom to vote. I don't know why that is so prevalent for me right now.
You know why? Because it's that simple.
It's that simple.
Yeah, it's that simple.
Wow.
And families just don't do that.
Yeah.
They don't do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know you have children. Like I said, I have children. I never really had that sit down and talk about what's a civic responsibility like voting. But here's what I did. I voted in every single election. I talk about it. So I'm hoping that my example, my model,
right,
will be enough. Because I can tell you this again. This is anecdotally. This is just from experience. But example is probably a language that's universal.
Yeah.
In many ways, as a parent, this. You can have the greatest lecture, the greatest speech. What you think. 9 times out of 10, your children are not even listening.
Right.
Because that would happen a lot of times. They come home, guess what, Dad? We had this speaker. Oh, good. What did he talk about? Oh, he talked about this. I said, well, that's what I've been trying to tell you guys for the last year. But it came from somebody else.
Right.
But what they do follow is they do follow your example. Yeah. Right? I mean, now my children are older, so we're getting grandchildren now. And so now when it comes to raising their children, what are they doing? They're doing what we did.
Right.
I see it. They're doing what we did. So I didn't sit down and tell them, okay, this is how you raise a child, or this is what we did. They just saw us doing it, and that's what sticks in their mind.
Yeah.
So
okay, out there, listeners, parents.
Always, yes, it's not always about this.
Yeah.
It's
really, what you do.
It's really about how you live your life, right? It's how you live it.
You live how you live your life. As someone who's in serving the community. People are watching.
Yeah. And that's again. Maybe I was blessed. Maybe I was blessed because I've always had, ever since I got appointed, you could say I kind of lived in a glass bowl, because now I represent law. I represent the judiciary. I gotta live a much better. I'm not perfect. Believe me, there's many things that is not a perfect example. But knowing that, I'm more cognizant of what I'm doing, and obviously. Which is right, the right thing to do. So a lot of times you do something, because there's another little thing, integrity is integrity, right? Theft of $1 or theft of $1 million is still theft.
Exactly.
So I used to do this one. I used to say, okay, so how many, when I speak to young parents or parents and children, I'd say, okay, so how many of you over here follow the speed limit? And you see the kids looking at the parents, right? And of course, nobody. And I say, I violate it. I raise my hand. I say, I do. I go over the speed limit. But see, what kind of example are we setting for our children?
Right, everything.
Because we're telling them that, hey, yeah, I know it's 35, but I'm going 50 anyway. So your kid's watching that. So what do you think your kid's going to do when they drive?
Yeah.
They're going to go 15 to 35. They're going to go 15 to 35 because, hey, well, my mom did it, my dad did it. Well, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
So, again, I'm not perfect, but I'm just saying that this is how you ask about how do we get people to get out there and volunteer. how do we get people to get involved? Just be good models, be good examples. They see you volunteering, they're going to volunteer, right? Because they know it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this has been very, very interesting because we get to know the Duke Aiona that really doesn't tell his story. But I thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for sharing that, taking your time out because, you're busy with your campaign and everything. So I'm very appreciative, and I'm pretty sure everybody else is too for
thank
sharing
you.
your time.
Thank you.
But
And
anyway,
good
really-
luck to you, and thank you for
Thank
bringing this
you.
to the
And we
community.
say aloha.
Aloha.
Thank you for listening to the Legal Advice in Paradise podcast. For more information, visit www.legaladviceinparadise.com.